Yeah, stay side. Alright, whether you're ready or not. Nothing less but a no that is test is a test that you will be exposed. Game time solid, rock to the top. Game time solid, rise to the top. Every moment, every second that you find on the clock, champion on a mission and no stop. I see through your eyes like a window. Living inside, no heart when it gets cold. Try to take mine, that's bad from the get go. When I put it down, you have it wishing that he stand up. Think about the outcome, think about your health, bro. Think about your family, think about your ego. Wanna be the boss when it ain't that simple. I'ma let you know what your answer is. Every moment of the contest, I'ma keep it pushing forward. This is the ultimate challenge. It's too much to be ignored. Anytime you wanna bring it, I'ma find a way to win. Undisputed champion. Undisputed champion.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another NSIG tournament. I'm Skiff, and I'm joined by the glorious PJ the Puff over here. You guys probably know him from the main broadcasts, but I'm so excited to bring you guys back some more C action. It's been a while. It's been the whole off season since we've seen anything, and looking at this bracket here, I mean, we got some surprises for you. PJ, take it away.
Yeah, for sure. I think what you're looking at is a region that is kind of in a moment where there's two competitors for sure that are trying to vie for the top position, with Keith and also taxiivation. And an interesting part of this bracket is Keith makes it into top 8, gets it game 5 with Vortex in winner semis, but makes it into winners finals, whereas taxiivation has to qualify through the elimination side, as Tiger is playing almost flawlessly, 3-1ing taxiivation and then a 3-0 over puzzles. Now winners finals, KeithThePooPoo versus Tiger, kind of the dark horse third option that everyone kind of forgot about in Southeast Asia, now looking to take this tournament and take that number 1 PR spot.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen these names in a while, like in top 8. Like Vortex, I haven't seen in a while. Tiger, I haven't seen in a while. Like, I understand this is just a community, and maybe not everyone is showing up today, but it's really good to see Tiger like back in form, and maybe this is just a hint of what he has to bring. I'm very interested to know what he's playing. I don't see any legends selected, so my eyes are on Tiger right now. But as you know, Keith is the the NSIG tournament champion. He always locks in. He always takes it.
No, yeah, for sure. And what I'm seeing immediately, which I think makes a lot of sense from Tiger, is we're seeing Tiger locking in Koji. So Tiger, a player that's really good at using the higher dex legends, but also Sword being so prevalent in the meta, just seems like a perfect storm for Tiger to start doing really, really well. And on the other side, we have Keith, who's hovering the JN Fire Drip, by the way. He's got the Popsicle Greatsword, got the Charge OG color scheme, so really, really cool. But nonetheless, really excited to see how this one plays out. I believe they are 6-2 in sets, so 6 of them going to Keith, Tiger taking 2. Last time they played was Beaterball's Battle of SEA, which was last year, and Keith won 3-1. So Keith historically beating Tiger out, but relatively close, all things considered, in terms of game count. So maybe some sword buffs, some Koji might be what it takes for Tiger to kind of get pushed over the edge and start beating Keith. We'll see. He's playing really well today.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he does look like he's back in form, but again, we've seen this matchup like time and time again. The sword, like Tiger just has always struggled to deal with Greatsword. And, you know, Greatsword's kind of an enigma right now. Like, some people say it's the best weapon in the game, and a lot of people still think it's bad. But I don't know if all the people that still think it's bad are the Greatsword players, because it kind of seems like that. But I personally think it's a super strong weapon. Bo kind of has the tools to deal with it, but traditionally, Tiger's always struggled into this matchup.
No, for sure. And especially with Keith, like sporting the JN, a legend that a lot of people talk about, obviously, for the Greatsword being the first Greatsword legend and the most successful Greatsword legend. But I think the reason that JN has poked his head out and become an outlier in the meta again is the fact that Sword is so strong right now. Constant downlight buffs. You have a weapon that's really good at forcing you in the air and struggling, you struggle to land against it. A very present stage threat. And then now you have Sword, which just completely scoops you practically at any range, it feels like. I feel like GC downlight recovery has been the most seen combo of this year so far in the officials. So seeing the community events and seeing people saying like, okay, the tippy top players are playing it, the top players are playing it, and the high level players are playing it. It seems to me that Sword is just the way to win right now, and it looks like we're going to be seeing that here in Southeast Asia as well. We'll see though. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Sword has taken over what I would say was it's like the staple weapon. Like, before I would believe that to be gauntlets. Like, you saw a lot of pros using gauntlets as like this, just very solid like weapon, no matter if it's an off weapon, no matter if it's their main weapon. It was just this very solid like weapon that was almost never touched, like as in a way that made it holistically worse. But with Sword's always been that weapon. Sure, it's been second place at times as this very vanilla simple weapon, but that simpleness allows it to stay this strong in the meta. Because like, how are you going to change it? How are you going to like buff it, make it worse? It's just the way it is.
No, absolutely. And we'll see exactly how it is as we get into our winners finals match, KeithThePooPoo versus Tiger. I believe Keith is back now, and it looks like the stage bans will be going underway in just a second here. Notably, I think this region is one of the more fun regions for me to commentate. I think a very aggressive play. So I'm excited to see how that translates here. I know I did the mainstream cast for Southeast Asia's bracket at Winter Championship for singles. So I'm excited to see how they perform here at NSIG. The season's underway. Southeast Asia Winners Finals underway. Tiger versus KeithThePooPoo. And we'll get into game number 1 very shortly here.
So I just want to quickly ask before the game starts, what do you think the most played map we're going to see here is? We've already seen a Miami Dome. What's your pick?
I think people are leaning away from Demon Island because of sword strength. You need soft platforms to avoid it. So even with that being said, I think Small World's End, even though no platforms, it's still a smaller stage. I think people really like that, but that might be my NA influence speaking, because I know a lot of NA players like that.
All right, Tiger with the bow in hand. That's his signature weapon. That's his magic wand. All right, already in the orange here. You know, both opponents here trading hits. Tiger getting like these nice 2 pieces here, and Keith has kind of unable to find anything for a while.
Yeah, I like the movement from Tiger, playing very evasively, and Keith kind of getting into a very similar rhythm already. A lot of dash jumps and then immediately going for side lights. But hey, that's all it takes sometimes when a greatsword string will KO you that early, getting the side light finisher or the down light finisher as well. And that's going to be stock number 1 going to Keith. That's the problem with playing Koji, is that you also have such a low defense stat line. Every damage is so much. Keith getting a big open up there, but Tiger looking to edge guard, didn't find it with the ground pound though.
That was a crazy dodge coming out from Keith there though. Tiger going a bit out here to get this edge guard. Yeah, you do have to watch out with greatsword because like at orange, right? Nice KO from Tiger. At orange, if you're on the edge, that is basically a guaranteed KO there if you do manage to get the finisher off. Like especially with this 4 defense. But Tiger does have the bow back in hand. Keith has already traded a lot of damage. Ooh, whiff.
Gets punished immediately.
Yeah, these platforms are so good for sword, and it's interesting that you say that we're probably not going to see Demon Island because you know great sword and even bow are traditionally super strong on that map. So, you know, I'm quite surprised that I do kind of see the value of picking Koji into Miami because these platforms you can kind of deal with the Nair. Oops, maybe going a little bit too far down there.
Interesting from Tiger going so low that you can't get a side air or a down air safely. So instead, Keith just taking the damage on the recovery. Nice weapon toss there. The juggle continues, and now a sword GC side light, but Keith getting the better of the situation. Haymaker, we got some crazy off stage already, but nothing too consequential yet. Another haymaker, no punish from Tiger, gets the down air off the wall. Keith in a bad spot, another down air connects, and now the GC breakdance. There's always time to dance when you're up a stock in Winners Finals Game 1. Tiger taking the stock there with a very interesting edgeguard, weird edgeguard situations already starting off this game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're already seeing one of Tiger's favorite strings, like D-Light, Nair into Ensig. Keith manages to clean up the stock without taking too much damage. Tiger is going to be able to reset right here. I mean, both stocks are pretty even, and you know, with the greatsword, that is a weapon that you can kind of just force the game to go your way. Even if you're behind, you're always like in front technically.
It definitely feels that way, especially when you get that side air. Tiger, sweat beads are out, has to dodge to the soft platform. Keith getting sent off stage with that side air, but nothing too crazy right now. Another greatsword cycled from Keith, so you're going to have this greatsword basically till the end of this game. Tiger looking to make magic happen on the sword. I mean, kind of having to lean into it now. A lot of juggles with the nairs. I love these dash jump nairs to cover these landings, but I want to see some downlights here. Try to mix them in and get some extra damage.
I mean, yeah, but Tiger, you know, despite this damage lead here, he really has to watch out because now he's at kill percent. And there we go. Keith is going to be able to take the first game, getting that nice edge guard on the right side.
So unfortunate, but just the nature of the beast is when you're jumping a lot versus a sword, great sword, you have to land eventually. And a lot of the times there, Tiger was going for dash jump down airs, dash jump nairs to try to continue the juggle. Keith realizing, okay, eventually you're going to end up in the corner. I'm going to side sig. It's going to KO you really early. And exactly as you pointed out, just because you have a lead versus Jayan, especially on 5 defense, it's really, really scary to get hit by anything. And I mean, Keith kind of showing that they're never in a damage lead, always behind in damage, but still winning the game.
I mean, I've always felt that playing against Greatsword is a Sisyphean task. Like, it's just always an uphill battle. Doesn't matter how much damage you have on them, you still have to land the final hit. And as long as you don't, that's a potential KO waiting to happen. Just practically one read on some of these maps away from an actual, like, death, even. That's kind of crazy. And, you know, that psychologically, when you're fighting Greatsword, if you have that in the back of your mind, like, it can be a struggle to cope with it. You know, you have to deal with all of that pressure, the threat that you can basically be gone at any moment, and all the work you put into that stock can just vanish. That's a lot to keep at the back of your mind. And it's interesting to see how Tiger deals with it and maintains such good spacing.
Yeah, It's definitely quite taxing on the Koji player here, but we'll see if Tiger can make this one happen. Sire there. I like the juggles on the bow. I think the bow might be the name of the game, especially in the earlier damages. A little bit safer, I would say, versus the greatsword, and already utilizing that movement, landing with the Siders. Nice side light there, but no extended damage string, so nothing too crazy. But yeah, once again, like you keep pointing out, it's like one string from greatsword will either KO you or just do enough damage where you're now getting KO'd next hit. So you have to be really careful.
Ooh, slight miss with the bow end light there. Yeah, again, the damage is just racking up. Like, Keith only needs to get the 2 pieces, and Tiger's out of there. Nice 3-piece from Keith. Yeah, but as I was saying earlier, like, the weapon is not equivalent. A 2-piece from bow is not the same as a 2-piece from greatsword. You're gonna have to work a lot harder. I mean, that is definitely possible with sword and bow here. You can get these nice strings, but again, psychologically, if you're afraid to punish and you don't punish when you're supposed to, then it just becomes all the more harder.
Yeah, and we see that there. A lot of respect from Tiger on Keith. Recovery, especially with that weapon toss up from the greatsword, makes it so much harder with DKOs on sword as well. On the offstage, nice open up there with the side light. Immediately goes for the follow up there. Didn't get a nice side air from Tiger to get the whiff punish, but it's not enough to KO. And Keith once again in a very strong position with greatsword and online.
Weapon toss to cover the recovery. The dare is not gonna kill, but I think Tiger does get the edge guard here. Keith out of options. Tiger finally back, equalizing the stocks. But he is gonna be at orange, and you know, if Keith, I believe, has the greatsword next, so very easy for him to equalize the stock.
What are we cooking? Sidelight into immediate on ground. Keith getting put in a bad spot for it, but somehow flips it. Tiger going too far off stage as well. And now Keith gets back with very little punishment for that very insane read. Tiger, though, I like this from him. This is kind of where you want to get that damage going when Keith is on that sword. We haven't seen a lot of sword play from Keith, but still a lot of movement. Kind of delaying here for a weapon spawn, I suppose. Downlight into recovery.
Down recovery. One more is going to kill.
Yep. Nice side air. Tiger in a bad spot here, going for the down air to reset the momentum, but it's just not enough to get back. A side air from Keith is all she wrote, and Keith now one stock away from going up 2-0 in the set.
Yeah, it's just even off of the greatsword, Keith is just, you know, whatever he has, it's enough to deal with Tiger. Like he knows like that Tiger is kind of fighting this uphill battle, and as you can see, he goes for those silly things like the unarmed combos, unarmed ground pounds just raw off the stage. And here we go, just an easy recovery back. Tiger does get the punish, but again, like Keith has the confidence to just basically jump up back on stage and like stare Tiger down and say, I knew you were gonna jump away. I'm putting too much pressure on you right now. And I just need that adaptation from Tiger. Like, it's not that scary, or if it is, well, too bad, because you gotta deal with this situation. You gotta like take the punishes that you can.
Yep, exactly. And Keith now showing me up here saying, you know what, I don't need a great sword to get this one done. Tiger just can't make it back, and Keith kicking up some sand on that weapon toss saying, I don't need a great sword. I'll take the game with that sword in hand. 508 damage. So Keith actually doing more damage. In the previous game, we saw Tiger leading the damage numbers, but as we get some highlights to roll out here, I think kind of the nature of what happens in the matchup, though, is when Keith isn't getting KOs with greatsword, what you're seeing is a lot more damage needing to be built up to get those KOs. So it makes sense he has more damage in this game, but still, all things considered, I think Keith looking really solid to take this set.
Yeah, absolutely. He does look poised to be heading on, but we can't count, like, you know, Tiger out after all of that. I just know he has to have some kind of adaptation in his back pocket, but it's about like realizing, you know, the pressure and just dealing with it and implementing it. It's very clear to me right now that Tiger is just, you know, feeling super pressured. You know, Keith can go for all of this.
Keith, no, don't do it to him, man. Don't do it to him. He's unarmed. He doesn't need a weapon. He just finds the edge guards anyway. That's 6 side lights. If that was a team combo, you can DI out of that one, but not in singles. Keith with an incredible clip on the unarmed, and looks like he's doing an unarmed only game here. What is going on?
Maybe he knows he has sword
Oh,
next.
dude, he just keeps hitting side lights, man. You gotta mix it up, man. Oh, GC downlight recovery. Keith is going crazy.
Yeah, this reminds me of you know what? I don't know if you guys know this player, but Noel, surely you know him. He's a player from back in the day, but one of his advices was like, if you don't know what to do, or if you like need to find something, just start side airing and side lighting them. And this is exactly what Keith is doing, except he knows exactly what needs to be done here. He has no fear into this. He has no need for the weapon, no need for the sword, no need for the greatsword. He must have been hearing us actually on the comms, and he realizes that, you know, he can just break dance his way to victory. Like, he doesn't even need his hands. He's like doing it all with his legs.
Oh, he throws in a little weapon toss there to get something crazy going, but he doesn't get much. I don't want to count Tiger out, but it's quite a bit mental. I mean, this is just tough to deal with for sure. Nice juicy down stick from Tiger. Tiger is staying in the game, but man, this is tough.
Yeah, that is gonna be the 3-stock denied, unarmed 3-stock denied. But you know, we saw how Keith was playing even at red. So, you know, if he keeps this up, then I think the stock is still gonna go his way, because Tiger has not yet given us an answer to Keith's barrage of martial arts at all. Like, this is just pure Iron Fist fury right now.
We're not even seeing, this is not even a legend that's like known for being good unarmed too. Like, this is just like a pick that you pick for the weapons. I mean, obviously it's Brawlhalla, but it's still working.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Tigers of all people is on the character you pick for. Oh my gosh. Just absolute destruction, taking that clean 3-0 on the side of Keith. I mean, wow. That was an exciting first match, because, you know, I had my hopes up for Tiger. I really expected him to, you know, at least get one game in, because I just saw how good he was doing in the bracket. But then, you know, Keith has to show up, make a statement, and basically say, well, NSIG is my tournament. You can have all the other ones, but I'm going to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, doing it unarmed as well into Koji, a legend with, you know, decent range and good weapon to deal with unarmed kit. Like, Keith kind of putting on an exhibition. I know we saw someone recently hit Valhalla with unarmed only, but he's showing. Have you ever seen an entrance into grand finals with unarmed only? Because it looks like Keith was just in Tiger's head. Keith takes the set, and I mean, what a statement from Keith. I mean, like you said, it's his tournament, and he's gonna win in any way he wants to.
I mean, yeah, I believe Tiger is like 28, so I guess it would be kind of unfair to, you know, use weapons against someone that, like, old, right? So, like, Keith had to show the old man, like, he had to give him, like, what do you call it? Like, what do they call it? A handicap. There's a handicap for Tiger, but, you know, it's just too tough for the old man.
Yeah, that's it's a tough draw. I mean, Tiger, like, looked pretty solid, but at the end of the day, it just looked... It looked definitely very, very tough for Tiger to get anything going. I mean, so much so that we had an unarmed game where it was 478 damage dealt, 265 taken, and then 1 damage on Greatsword because he threw it at Tiger and it connected. So, like, all things considered, like, very, very tough pool here.
Yeah.
I guess as Tiger, like, you just can't be demotivated, and you're like, well, I made it to winners finals. I upset taxiivation. Now I'm just going to sit in elimination side finals and wait to see who I have to play there. But tough draw. I mean, I don't exactly know what to say to encourage you there, but that's definitely a tough one. Still relatively close in the first 2 games, but somehow the unarmed looked worse than the greatsword and the sword.
Yeah, and looking over at the bracket here, I mean, it's not like he's going to have to wait long. We already have Vortex and Taxiivation battling it out, as well as Puzzles and Jerry K. So one of those, 2 of those 4 are going to be moving on to the losers semifinal. Sorry, two of those 4 are going to be moving on from the losers quarterfinal to the losers semi. And we will have another exciting match with top 8, you know, candidates right there. Jerry K, another name that I haven't seen in a while. You know, partner of Tiger, like, from the good old days. So I'm excited to see how he's going to do, because I have not seen his name in top 8 for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side, we have Vortex versus Taxiivation, as Taxiivation is on a crazy run with the Rayman. It looks to be a 3-0 over Sphinx to move in. But before we get into our next match, we're going to go on a break. We're going to allow the elimination side to catch up. We'll come back with elimination side semifinals. We'll catch you up with that, and then we'll finish the tournament off. No breaks needed. But for now, bear with us. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be back with more Southeast Asia Showdown Mark 11 action. Oops, my mic was muted. That wasn't production's fault. That was me. Welcome back, everybody, to SEA Showdown Mark 11. We're here in Southeast Asia's top 4. We got elimination side semifinals, puzzles versus tax evasion. I'm PJ the Puff, joined by Skiff. Skiff, how are you feeling about this top 4?
You know, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I've been saying this, and I say this every time because I love See This Much. You know, it's my home region. But I haven't seen these players in a while, and neither have our community. So, you know, whatever they've been practicing, I just want to see how they got better, how they improved. And, you know, we got a couple returning names to the bracket, like Jerry K, but unfortunately he wasn't there. But we do have puzzles and tax evasion, you know, previous tournament winner, and I think puzzles has also won one's tournament, actually, two's tournament, actually. So, I mean, these two have faced off before, and I've seen them, you know, play it out like 1,000 times in ranked. Not sure about the set count right now, but I know this match is interesting because I believe Puzzles is on... He dropped Blasters, and I'm not sure what he's playing now. I think it's Orb, but we shall see.
Yeah, I see Puzzles was on... Well, when I pull up Stat Tool, it says Puzzles is playing Jaeyin, but I don't think that's accurate. And then Tax Evasion, I mean, Tax Evasion was just playing Chun-Li, watching Tax Evasion stream. Shout out to Tax Evasion, by the way, making it into the elimination side. It was definitely a tough one. And hey, shout out to Slow Motion for the raid of a party of 92. Thank you so much for that, and welcome all of the Bearded Brawl fans. We are here in Southeast Asia Showdown, the other org that runs Southeast Asia, funny enough. We got Puzzles Tax Evasion, and yeah, I'm excited to see who Puzzles is exactly going to play. We'll see here.
We got some interesting things happening in chat. I don't think that's on stream, though. Not quite sure what's going on there, but both players, I think, are here, or we're waiting on Puzzles. Except... Yeah, we're waiting on Puzzles right now. Okay, he has locked in the Jaeyin, so maybe the stat checker was correct. And all right, we will have the Rayman coming out from Tax Evasion. He has been on a tear through the bracket with that. You know, what even is Rayman? Like, is he a duck? I think he's just a creature.
So me and Dara actually broke this down. Rayman is from a species of Ray people. So Rayman is a Ray person. That's why Rayman's nemesis is Ray Nemesis, and everybody that is like Rayman is a Ray person.
That was not confusing at all, and I completely understand what just entered my brain.
Ray people.
Ray people.
Mm-hmm.
Ray persons.
Ray persons, that's true.
Oh, I think we have Demon Island on the way, which is going to be very interesting because Greatsword, I think, even though you have that insane, you know, downstick potential on both weapons from Rayman, just the ground that you can cover with Greatsword is absolutely insane, especially if there's nowhere to land, you know, on the stage. So I want to see how Taxi, you know, evades this.
Yeah, because he definitely is going to struggle for sure, like you keep saying, with no soft platform, but nonetheless, we get into game number 1, Demon Island. I know we said I didn't expect to see a Demon Island pick, but we see it here in elimination side semifinals. We got a nice little sidelight into Nair there. Nice dodge through the end line, realizing Puzzles wants to wake up with an option. The dodge gets red with a recovery there. And now Tax Evasion getting the party started on the gauntlets, looking really good so far. Charged up GC side sig. No connection, but Puzzles is scrambling to find the solution to this puzzle. Okay, just taps it in.
Like ground pound.
Yeah, that's nice and simple. Edgeguard from Tax Evasion, who finds the stock there, and all things considered, looking really good on the gauntlet so far.
Very, very clean first stock from Taxi. Ooh. You know, barely any damage. Okay, nice 3-piece.
Okay.
I'm able to get the follow-up off that weapon toss. You know, this is the orange, the kill percent for the Greatsword, but, you know, Puzzles has to find the hit, has to find the string to get this KO. Yeah, I mean, Taxi's just doing a number on him right now. Just perfect evasion coming out. He is going to burn that gravity cancel. All right.
Charges up the ground pound, looking for the read there. Puzzles. Sidelight into downlight connector bridge there. Didn't find it. Tax Evasion going deep with the ground pound. Puzzles makes it back, but Tax still looking somehow in control, even off stage. Puzzles, GC downlight. Goes for the double. Ooh. Too aggressive. Get the damage, get the KO. GC endlight sends Puzzles off stage again. And Tax Evasion looks to tap it in and gets it with the recovery unarmed. Tax Evasion. Another taunt, another stock, and 3 stocks to 1 for Tax Evasion.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really good for Taxi right now. I thought Puzzles would have a bit more answers here, especially on this new pick. given great swords, staple in the metal right now, but that sword Sidelight Sire doesn't even KO from there. Okay, I believe, okay, that Endlight doesn't even KO.
Living.
Wow. Just Taxi's just like living right now. Yeah, doesn't even go for more there. He realizes he doesn't need to, just not taking the risk. Right. The D-Light recovery is finally gonna KO, but Puzzles is down a whole stock and a bit here. And the way this is looking so far, it's not looking good for Puzzles.
Yeah, but anything's possible on the J, and especially getting that pogo there with the down air. Definitely not the same as the spear. Definitely does a lot more damage, but still. Tax evasion with some nice gauntlet play. Puzzles gets the bridge there. Connector tries to flip it back to center stage. Tax evasion doesn't fall for it though. It's nair into side air. Puzzles stuck in a terrible spot off stage and continuing the pressure. Tax evasion gets the side air. Weapon toss. GC sidelight doesn't find it. Puzzles getting the recovery and the chase dodge nair to follow up. So getting back on the stage. The tax evasion lands with a side air and gets one more on the battle pass quest. We get tax evasion taking game number 1 very confidently. He said, I can't believe you left Demon Island open for me, and it seems to be that tax evasion was right about that call.
Wow, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to analyze quickly what I saw there, and I was just a lot of nairs. Like, tax evasion would, like, whiff, like, a sidelight. Like, I mean, because you can whiff sidelight, it's basically not really punishable. And then, instead of backing up, he would just immediately nair, and Puzzles really didn't have an answer for that. Just, like, immediately wake up nair, I guess, is the solution. And that is strong on gauntlets because you do get the sidelight shoe combo into it at the higher healths, around, like, I believe 80 or 90. So yeah, I mean, it clearly is working, and that is how the majority of his damage stacked up from what I saw there. And I don't know, I'm just trying to think of, like, a way that Puzzles could answer back with that, and I suppose it's just backing up a bit further.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see exactly, like, what the solution is. Every time I say solution, I'm like, man, that's a really bad Puzzles pun. But nonetheless, it's true. Like, you got to figure out your way through this problem. Tax evasion on the axe here. We saw a lot of gauntlet play, but the axe is also looking really solid as well. Definitely cannot sleep on that weapon. Even into the greatsword, tax evasion using that movement to avoid all of these open ups. Finally gets one there, but no string, gets a full 3-piece. That's a lot of damage though. So a much closer game for Puzzles. Nice disarm onto tax evasion. Tax evasion having to land on Demon Island versus greatsword. Not a very tall task. Okay.
I'm not sure about the optimization of the greatsword routes coming in from Puzzles. That, with that mess up almost costed him the stock. Okay, sidelight, no KO, gravity cancel, not gonna fall quite yet. Does manage to get the nair.
Really smart adaptation. We saw tax evasion go for an unarmed recovery exhausted, and Puzzles didn't punish it. So tax evasion realizing that Puzzles isn't going to swing out and goes for a nair to get extra damage. Already showing really great adaptation from tax evasion, even though he's the one that's in the winning position here. GC Enlight will get the KO. Not quite. Weapon toss there. Puzzles one more chance here. Tax evasion dips low. Doesn't find the recovery though. There, fine. Right. That's Puzzles taking the stock.
Fine. Yep. Yeah, wow. That stock went on for a while, and Puzzles is extremely damaged. Taxi doesn't have to do much here to find the KO, but this is greatsword, so the threat of all this damage racking up is very big here. And as we see, Taxi's almost at kill percent for this greatsword. Does manage to get the Endlight, and the stocks are going to even up, but the damage definitely isn't here. Taxi, still looking okay, still looking good, but he should aim to equalize this very quickly, otherwise he can go in the way of Puzzles, especially if he does manage to get that greatsword back.
I like this approach to cover landings from tax evasion, realizing that Puzzles isn't really swinging. Dash forward Endlights to get some damage there. Already showing, like, kind of what you need to do on gauntlets versus weapons that are very good in the air. Down air into nair, doesn't find a Puzzles. Nice dash jump backwards, side air, crossing up and getting the hit, charging up a side sig. Doesn't find it there. Puzzles now in an edge guard position. Fakes going off stage with a turnaround GC end sig. Really smart from Puzzles, who looks so solid to take the stock with that down air. Tax evasion, recovery, weapon toss.
That weapon toss was insane.
Not enough though. Recovery does take it off the top, and Puzzles with a stock lead saying, I'm not going down without a fight. It's not going to be so easy.
Yeah, I mean, this game is looking a lot better. Puzzles is taking his time here. The adaptation's coming through. All right, maybe what Taxi said lit a fire under him. Like, what do you mean I left Demon Island open for you? I left Demon Island open for me. Like, this is the greatsword map after all. And, Taxi just hasn't found the KO. That Endlight isn't going to be enough to KO. And you can't really, like, the thing you have to be worried about when you're going against greatsword is it's kind of like Scythe. You can't really just go out against greatsword. Like, aerials are too strong. gravity cancel D-Light recovery is going to take the KO there. But as I was saying, is arrows are too strong and cover way too much distance. So it's kind of difficult for you to just, you know, cover at least laterally against Greatsword.
Okay, nice little open up there from Puzzle, still racking on the damage, but doesn't mean anything until you find that finishing move on that Greatsword, and might find it there. No good dodge from Tax to avoid. Puzzle's going unarmed, taking a book out of Keith here, but picks up a sword, gets the Sire, not enough to KO. Tax evasion, terrible spot to deal with, flips it with an air. That's the weapon toss. Puzzle's in a terrible spot. The downlight doesn't connect though. Tax evasion fumbles the bag, has an opportunity to steal the game away, and now Puzzle's back with the Greatsword, gets the Sire, and seizes control of the game, taking it to a 1-1 set count.
Yeah, I don't think, Taxi was just a little bit too far for that D-Light ground pound. That was almost a stock there. But, you know, Puzzles manages to stabilize, manages to avoid the, you know, offstage reversal. And, you know, he does manage to take that game too. So, you know, if you're Puzzles, you're wiping a sweat off your brow right now. Like, that was a very close game. You're glad to walk away with that one. Let's see if you walk away with the next.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how we move forward here into this game number 3. We see some Small Worlds end. So still no soft platforms to be seen, but a lot smaller of a stage. Definitely going to be interested to see if this is going to help out Tax Evasion in any way. Maybe you have more or less room for Puzzles to kind of weave in and out on the ground, but I feel like Greatsword still covers a lot of space. Tax Evasion getting right to it though, realizing, hey, you're going to be on the ground a lot. I'm going to go for these dash jump down airs.
Yeah, I mean, these gauntlets have been doing a lot of the work, but, you know, Puzzle's adaptations on this Greatsword, I mean, we even have a map change finally, have proven to be enough. And that was a really nice spot dodge from Puzzles. Back on his, I think, you know, Sword is still Puzzle's preferred weapon, given the amount of hours he has on Thatch. All right, nice side sig coming in from Taxi there. Managed to save first stock, but again, you know, the sword has been a staple of Puzzle's gameplay for a while, despite being, you know, a Blasters player. The sword again has been solid, as you said at the start of this stream. There's no reason to, if you're good with it, not play it.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely the most like cost basis. Like you definitely just want to play sword right now. Never a waste of time for sure. Nice recovery into Nair from Tax Evasion though, showing the supremacy of the gauntlet. Still has a play here, but GC downlight into ground pound taps it in for Puzzles, and Puzzle evening up the damage relatively quickly here, so with one string, or evening up the stocks, I should say. Could easily do it with the damage, though. Tax Evasion picking up some gauntlets, no punish on that dodge in place. Miss space for that Cider, but a nice downlight string. Goes for the D-Sig there. Puzzles makes it back to the stage, though. No big swings so far for Tax Evasion.
Yeah, I mean, this spacing, this pressure from Taxi, he's throwing a lot of options that, you know, if you try and cover, if you try and punish, he's definitely on the safer side, especially with that, you know, end light into weapon toss. He definitely knows the routes he wants to take, just kind of fishing for this recovery KO right now. Does swap to the axe, going to be easier to KO, and, you know, exactly that happens. Gets the end light, KOs off the right side of the stage. Taxi looking poised to take this game. I mean, it's not over yet, but I think the adaptations came through for Taxi.
Okay, down there into end light, gets the side light, goes for a read with that Nair. I like this gauntlet play from Taxi. Nice side air, waits for the dodge in, goes for the end light, doesn't find it, but already Tax showing like Puzzles. You got to mix it up here. I have your read. Nice dodge to the weapon toss, realizing the mold breaker was coming in, finishes upwards on that, but doesn't find the KO. Nair or N-Sig doesn't connect. Tax Evasion lands back with the axe and getting so much damage for it. Puzzles looking for the KO here, cannot find it. GC downlight finisher, not enough though. Down air will be enough that time.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to highlight, I'm just curious about the route optimization from Puzzles, because I expected finishers from Greatsword to be better. I understand it depends. Wow, nice 4-piece from Puzzles.
Speaking of optimization,
the damage. Yeah, I mean, that was really nice.
Yeah.
But, you know, now is the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now is the time where you kind of... Wow, not going to let me finish. Taxi just wants to get this game over with.
That side air hit at the most vertical point in the hitbox for sure there. We're going to see it on a replay. I'd love some slow motion production. That was a ridiculous side air, but all things considered, Tax Evasion looking really solid on the gauntlets, getting some work done on the axe though. That's the end light to close that one up. Puzzles. Yeah, I don't know. Like you were saying, like route optimization, I definitely agree. I want to see Puzzles getting like KOs off of these, but look at this side air hitbox.
Yeah, that was nasty. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3. What?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, as I was saying, like I understand it depends on the weapon you're playing against, but against the weapons that Taxi's playing against, I would expect Puzzles to choose a more horizontal route with the finishers because it allows them to go for more, especially at the lower damages. I'm very interested by this, him prioritizing like using the Nair finish, the Endlight finisher, because there's not as many things that you can do, and it's more of a mix-up than, you know, a straight up set, like a set play.
Yeah, I think what you're looking at is like the potential to start weaving in N-Sigs to get read KOs when you condition someone to not dodge out of the neutral finisher, but nonetheless, like, yeah, I definitely want to see something. Puzzles showing me something with that down air, though. Tax evasion having to get back to the stage. Nice Endlight to send off stage. Oh, but that's the downlight. That's a lot of damage in that GC downlight into recovery. Great wait. I love him waiting for the dodge there, realizing that you're going to panic because of the weapon toss. Tax evasion takes the stock there.
Yeah, there we go. Also just fishing for that side light here.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, doesn't manage to get the Nair. That would have been a very nice combo, though, from Taxi. Gonna have to get the edge guard here. Side light. Okay. Cider does get the finishing KO here. That being said, like, wow. If Puzzles can retain this greatsword and do some damage here, like, it's very possible for him to walk away as the leader in this game.
That's for sure there. I like to open up there. Little 4-piece. No dodge from Tax Evasion. Waiting to dodge through the finisher. Immediate wake-up turnaround Endlight to punish Puzzles crossing through. That's a classic greatsword option. Avoiding. Goes for ground pound. Wanted to see a down air there for sure. Nice little open up. But once again, Tax Evasion reading through Puzzles is cross through with that wake-up turnaround Endlight. Nice little pokes there with the side lights. Some pot shots, but nowhere near enough to KO. Nice Endlight there. And Tax Evasion with another edge guard opportunity. That's an Endlight to send off stage. Puzzles, terrible spot to be in here. Can you make it back? Crazy little ping pong action, but makes it back there. No recovery to follow from Tax Evasion. Oh, waits.
Ooh, that was a nice wait. The D-Light. Unfortunately, that isn't going to KO, though. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Endlight.
The classic anti-air option. Tax Evasion. I don't know if you had a dodge, but you might not be able to dodge out of that string. I don't know how Greatsword string works.
I don't think you can dodge out of that anymore. It was a while ago, and I haven't looked at Greatsword in a while, but I believe they made a change that actually gave Greatsword that true combo.
Makes sense. Because, yeah, you know, Greatsword needs it for sure. Nonetheless,
for sure, man.
Tax Evasion. Some gauntlets online, looking to get the damage evened up here. Another Endlight attempt, trying to read Puzzles crossing through. Tax Evasion getting sent on the wall. Downward push. But somehow Puzzles just can't find anything to send Tax Evasion that far off stage. Might be intentional, might just be a misrepresentation of how to get this party started. Tax Evasion there. Nice little open up. Wins out on the gravity cancel trade. Nice wait. No Nair, though.
Yeah, I've yet to see a sidelight read from Taxi yet. Puzzles is either the master of mixing up his dodges, or Taxi's just not reading, kind of being lazy about it. Doesn't really matter, though, because Puzzles burns his dodge, and Taxi is going to take that game there.
Very, very clean stuff. Tax Evasion looking really, really solidly to maybe potentially win from the elimination side, as we see Tax Evasion with a 3-1 over Puzzles. Tiger will enter that spot moving forward, but we'll get some replays here. I like that side air there. That's a classic greatsword read that feels really good to connect. It's like, oh, I finally got that read. You know, that's definitely like a way to get the vibe started, to get a comeback going. But unfortunately for Puzzles, but fortunately for Tax Evasion, just a really solid gauntlet play leads to the win once again. And we see Tax Evasion swapping off of the axe in favor of the spear. We got a Chun-Li in top 3 as we get into elimination side finals. Chun-Li versus Koji.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been a while since I've seen like a Chun-Li, like or Wushang, or, you know, like it's been a surprisingly amount. It's a surprising amount of time since I've seen one, and it, you know, it really strikes me as odd to say I've missed this, you know, just seeing Koji versus a Wushang. This is like some old Brawlhalla like meta, but you know, ignoring, you know, that fact, Wushang is definitely still a good character. Don't get me wrong, but again, I think Taxi beat Tiger 3-1 earlier in the bracket. So in this rematch, let's see what happens. Did he beat Tiger with the Rayman, or did he beat?
No, Tiger beat Taxi.
Oh, Tiger beat Taxi
to elimination side. It was an upset. Yeah, 3-1 in Tiger's favor.
So in that case, we could probably assume that Taxi was playing Rayman, and now he's making a swap to Chun-Li, which I think does better into Koji, given that, you know, Axe into Bow has historically and still is not a very good matchup.
For sure, and I'd like to see the spear here having that vertical or the landing option with the pogo as well as an edge guard tool to cover a lot of the wall here on Miami Dome. I think definitely in order to make this to win this run back, but Tiger already starting off with what I assume we saw in the top 8 set that we weren't able to get, or top 16 set we weren't able to get. Tiger just playing really solidly on the sword, smothering tax evasion on the corner here. Really tough spot for tax evasion. Tiger playing extremely well on the sword.
Yeah, I mean, this is some different type of aggression that I'm seeing from Tiger here. This is not what I saw in the Keith set. Like, if this is how... Maybe he's just really confident into Taxi. Maybe he just has Taxi's number. But this is the Tiger I know and, you know, have perceived before. All right? It's not going to be enough to pick up there. The damage is already, you know, racked up for Tiger here. Like, Taxi's solidly in the red. D-Light recovery is going to KO, and that's the advantage of playing on Miami. You have these super high platforms that allows you to just, you know, finesse a KO with Sword D-Light off of the top.
Nice end sig there, and yeah, I think you kind of pointed out exactly. Maybe it's just a matter of Tiger having tax evasion's number, because tax evasion kind of looking like a fish out of water right now, really struggling versus his high dex Koji pick. Looking for that tap in with the edge guard, going for the down air there, avoids the narrow reversal as well from tax evasion. Tiger looking so solidly in the lead. I mean, I don't exactly know what Tax needs to do to make this comeback happen, but it definitely needs to find an option to beat out the sword GC downlight into recovery, but man, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough. Tiger finally falls, but Taxi is deep in the red once again. And wow, the Nair is sending him already pretty high. Okay, Taxi doesn't really go for anything there, just kind of waiting to see what Tiger does. Yeah, but, you know...
Yeah. Tries to land beating up the stack with the Nair there. I like that option. That Nair will just straight up KO, though. Tiger 2 stocks to 1 on tax evasion. And tax evasion, this is so weird, because tax evasion is such a confident player, winning the recent official over Keith, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of a triangle here where Tiger loses to Keith, but beats tax evasion. Tax evasion beats Keith, making this Southeast Asia NSIG tournament very interesting.
Ooh, he didn't hold the downlight there on the down air there on the bow. It would have went through the platform and hit. But, you know, yeah, okay, it looks like Taxi's kind of making a comeback. Oh, and oh wow, that is gonna kill. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately there, as you said, the comeback was kind of working out there. We get the immediate read off the no dodge, gets the NSIG, close out that stock. Tiger looks really solid right now.
He looks completely different to what we saw in the Keith game, and this is the Tiger that, you know, I expected to see in bracket today, and I'm glad I get to see in bracket today. But I wonder, you know, this is tax evasion after all. He is a major champion. He can make these adaptations, and he's on a character that, you know, he's done really well on before. You know, the Mordex is definitely a good counter into the Koji here, especially with that scythe. Like, tax evasion has one of the best scythes in C. He's been coached by a lot of players, including Himwe, Vortex, even coaching from Thada. Like, his scythe is going to look really good here, and I want to see how he uses it. Of course, he has these gauntlets, and he's already beginning with a nice string. Doesn't manage to get the 3-piece there, but there we go. Already racking up the damage. Probably could have gone for more.
I love that, realizing that the NSIG was going to cover the landing there. Tax evasion getting flipped off stage. The ground pound comes in. That's the Demon Island difference. Down air over below the weapon toss, and Tiger steals the stock away, gets the 3-piece off stage. I love the dip underneath the weapon toss to get the down air. Then chase dodges up to avoid the weapon toss. Hit stun and then gets the ground pound as well. Tax evasion having your work cut out immediately as Tiger showing I can go off stage and make it work too.
See, Tiger has always been that player that, like, gets the punishes he absolutely has to. Like, if he knows he's safe to get the punish, then he will, like, you can almost guarantee you'll see it happen. He almost always makes the right play. But, you know, recently, these players that have been doing, you know, well against him for the past, like, 2 years have managed to call Tiger out on the things that he's not punishing. And Scythe is one of those weapons that he struggles against, but, you know, he's seeming to do amazing right now. Getting this KO here, Taxi with no answer for that entire stock. Like, I don't know what's happening right here. I expected to see a little bit, more aggression from Taxi, but it's just no open slots. This is prime form Tiger right now.
I love that from Tiger, realizing that taxiivation would disengage after not getting the read with that end line, and like stacks on top of taxiivation and gets a nair. Like these little optimizations when your opponent is done getting a combo going is really interesting from Tiger, and already like proving to be very difficult for Taxi to deal with. The damage output from the Koji kind of showing out here. Sidelight into the end light, gets the nair as well to continue to juggle taxiivation. Weapon tossing, hoping to find some sort of reprieve from the pressure, but Tiger will not let up. Lined up a ground pound there, didn't go for it. Taxiivation flips the edge guard and finds the KO, and now we go to last stock.
I think if Tiger dodged there, he might have gotten a little bit more distance, especially if he dodged diagonally up. But I don't think he would have made it back. That being said, though, Taxi's in the red on this final stock. I think one good hit here from Sword on the edge will KO. You see Tiger go for it right there. He has to be careful because it is Scythe. This is Scythe. Okay, the D-Light Sire. Going off stage here is pretty dangerous, Tiger. Recognizes that, resets, goes for the D-Light Sire.
No recovery is interesting, but I guess it doesn't matter with that weapon toss as Tiger takes the stock and takes the game. Tiger 2-0 right now, going into game number 3 over taxiivation. Looking really solid right now.
I kind of get it, though. Like, going for the D-Light Sire there, like, I believe that would have KO'd, but maybe Tiger was unsure. So rather than, put Scythe in a more favorable position, which is, when it has the opportunity to get a diagonal against you, he went for the horizontal positioning, which is, a little bit worse for the Scythe. That being said, though, there's still the threat of Nair, and I still think that would have KO'd. But, Tiger's the one in finals right now, not me, so.
Yeah,
maybe he knows better.
This is such an odd form of taxiivation I haven't really seen before, but we go to a tri-plat stage. We got 3 soft platforms on the this is Terminus, right?
This is Terminus.
This is Terminus.
No.
Okay. Wait,
is it? It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle map.
This is definitely Terminus, right? Okay. Yeah,
this is Battle Pass map?
Yeah.
I saw a trash bag and I thought it was a I don't see pizza. Okay, that's what was missing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, nonetheless, I'm sorry, it's getting a little bit late for me and my memory starts slipping away. But nonetheless, we have Tiger, we got taxiivation. Taxiivation, nice read there with the axe. So we're seeing 3 different legend picks from taxiivation in all 3 of these games, and the axe looking to be kind of very, very strong here. But Tiger getting a big reversal there with the down airs, but the recovery hits and we get back to the stage.
Wow, Tiger is so fast. He just catches you out. He knows, he's like in your head. He knows what you want to do. Okay, weapon toss, interesting pick. I would have thought that the dare there would have been better.
Oh, nice end light. Wow. Oh, I like the attempt from taxiivation, but a little too telegraphed, I think. Tiger was center stage when you started charging up the GC side sig, and just punished accordingly. Really, really smart stuff from Tiger, saying in this game confidently, even though the axe looked really, really scary for a moment there.
I don't know. I'm very, when I play against Tiger and when I see people play against Tiger, I would be very worried about doing a move of such a slow startup. Yeah. Sure, it can be fast, but Tiger is one of those players, I don't know if you know of Zinker. They're just super fast, especially with the Koji. They're just, they can just react instantly. I believe Tiger has a reaction time of 130. So going for that type of stuff against him, okay, nice haymaker from Taxi. That was kind of nuts off the top platform. But again, going for that kind of slower stuff against him to, make him trip up and trip over his own legs, I guess, doesn't really work.
Okay, goes for the end light there with the gauntlets. Taxiivation looking to make something happen, potentially force off stage, but Tiger using these soft platforms very, very effectively to avoid a lot of this major damage. Nice recovery there. Tiger going high with that nair, doesn't find it, but no punish from taxiivation. Just having so much respect on these landing coverages, and taxiivation scrambling to get anything going. But when you're playing the 1s and 2s game versus Sword, you'll often lose. Nice end light.
Ooh, recovery's the wrong way there. Okay, Nair, one more here is going to get the kill to get the recovery. And, Tiger's once again in the lead on this stock. Potentially a clean 3-0 coming in. This is looking very, very good for Tiger. For, if you've invested in Tiger, Tiger investors are looking up right now.
It's interesting because taxiivation took a game off of the previous set, and maybe this might be the one as we get a side air into the weapon toss. We get a little bit of an emote from taxiivation as well, so maybe trying to get some moxie back, but definitely a tall task going into this last stock potentially of your tournament life after winning the first official of the year. Nice
Yeah, this would be
Tiger. Big open up side air as well. taxiivation getting set low. The down air hits. taxiivation compromised off stage, but makes it back with the sweat beads. Another side air from Tiger, continuing the pressure. A lot of damage. taxiivation picks up an axe. Definitely going to look to try to knock him away, but now we're good.
All right. I mean, the damage is racking up from taxiivation. Bow, you know, historically a weapon that struggled to find the KO. And, you know, as I say that, it's creeping closer and closer. D-Light's there, not enough to KO. Weapon toss misses. Oh, and there we go. The breakdance is going to give Tiger another 3-0 in this tournament. And he is going to advance to grand finals. We got some emotes coming out from taxiivation here. Not too happy with that. But it is what it is. I mean, Tiger moves on. Like, he dropped one game before, but I guess he made the adaptations, remembered what he was doing against taxiivation, and I hope he brings this confidence into his next match.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to definitely need confidence, moxie, energy, like aura, whatever they're calling it now, to make this make this grand finals run a possibility. For those of you that don't know, we are in a double elimination bracket, which means that Tiger has to win 2 sets in a row in order to beat Keith. The last time Keith and Tiger played was in winners final, so this is a run back. But Keith 3-0 Tiger, notably game 3 was only unarmed from Keith. So Keith is looking poised. It looks like Tiger has Keith's number. We got an interesting Southeast Asia triangle where taxiivation was able to beat Keith at the last official. Keith beats Tiger, but Tiger beats taxiivation. So now we have an interesting top 3. It looks to be kind of the way that Southeast Asia will map out for the rest of the year. But nonetheless, we got grand finals Keith versus Tiger.
And, you know, we've seen this play out before, you know, not just this tournament, but many tournaments before. I mean, we have the set count. I believe it's probably, what, 7-2 now? It was 6-2 before, right? So it should be 7-2 now. But again, we need to see Tiger bring that confidence into this next match against Keith. Because, man, when you end up playing Keith's game, you end up losing. And Keith almost always makes you play his game. His advantage stage axe is probably one of the scariest axes to go against, like, in C. And the fact that he can just jump on any legend and destroy you with any weapon, but not only that, just play unarmed if he wants to against a 27-time in a row major winner is kind of crazy. Like, imagine like going unarmed only against like Sandstorm for an entire game and three-stocking him almost. Yeah, and winning and almost three-stocking him.
Yeah, it's incredible what Keith is able to do, especially just having Tiger's number seemingly so. Nonetheless, we are getting into game number 1. Some respect from both of the players as we get into this next game. We'll see if Keith can make the success of the winners finals a reality once again, or if we're going to get Tiger potentially resetting the bracket and going to true finals.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here, and the chat is voting 2/3 to KeithThePooPoo. That is like, yeah, I mean, not great odds for Tiger, not terrible. Payout still pretty good if he does manage to get the upset here, but he will have to get 2 bracket reset. The bracket reset and then another set count to claim this tournament. And, you know, I don't know. Doing that against Keith is like another Sisyphean task. As I said earlier, he's playing Greatsword, so that's another boulder that you're going to have to push up a hill.
Absolutely. We'll get into game number 1 now with Tiger getting the first strike as well as getting the first weapon with a bow online, but Keith immediately dodging Tiger's attempt to try to get some damage onto Keith without a weapon. Well, it seems to me that Keith is like, okay, I'm going to use a weapon and get a comfortable stock lead, and then we'll maybe clown around here. We'll see, though.
Yeah, I'll get my 2 games in first, and then I'll just mess around on the third game. But yeah, he does have the power weapon right now. The Greatsword goes for that side sig. No punish from Tiger. Very hard to punish, but this is a different map we haven't seen all tournament. This is Western Air Temple. You know, I'm very interested in this map because these sides, you know, are not very big. On top of that, you have these platforms which make it easier to KO with the sword. Ooh, that side sig almost takes Keith's stock.
Quick tries to flip it on there.
The edge guard here.
Nice avoidance on that down sig. And a punish on the GC down sig. Again, Tiger, sweat beads, exhausted. Keith gets the recovery there. Weapon toss into immediate ground pound, beats out the end sig, but the downlight recovery will take the first stock for Keith. And Keith, once again, keeping the momentum up, taking the first stock of Grand Finals.
Yeah, this is still looking strong for Keith. These edge guards are just not it from Tiger right now. I'm not seeing Tiger, because he can get these. Like, don't get me wrong, he's just either misinputting or messing up. Like, this is not the Tiger I'm used to seeing. And Keith is only going to run even further away with this lead now that he has a great sword. He doesn't even need it, though, because he is on the unarmed, like, absolutely going ham right now. Picks up the sword, able to probably get the kill. Oh, tries to go for the D-Light there. Unable to get it. That D-Light recovery will KO, though. But I really like the way Keith was moving there. He just, unfortunately, chase dodged instead of doing a platform cancel.
Yeah, this is looking quite similar to what we saw in Winners Finals, where Tiger is just fishing for the downlight, seeing the amount of success that downlight has led to players in every region in the officials, but just can't find it here. Keith going for the ground pound there, gets hit with the recovery, the weapon toss as well, tries to get some safety, but I mean, you're just able to go for these things. And I mean, once again, another unfortunate a miss with that down sig there from Tiger, and Keith somehow makes it back. Too much respect from Tiger's side, potentially. Then air comes in, avoiding the downlight again, and Keith flips it with a ground pound. Tiger in a bad spot, avoids the down air though. Really scary off stage versus the unarmed. Keith going unarmed and making it work once again. The recovery comes in. Tiger on orange once again. Keith looking to get a 3-stock here.
See, the thing you have to okay, 3-stock denied. But the thing you have to realize about Keith is that he is like the perfect evasive player. Perfect spot dodges, perfect dodges for positioning. Like, doesn't mess up twice, although he is getting absolutely annihilated 3 times in a row by this end light. Nice 4-piece, I guess, from Tiger there. Oh, and there we go. Wow, that's not enough to KO. Coming out from the center stage. Yeah, Keith is looking at for it now.
Oh, and that's the classic.
Wow,
how does that not KO?
Wow.
And the side stick finds the KO. Wait a minute, Tiger now.
We have an even game here, like even stock count.
Yeah.
This is very, very doable for Tiger to finesse away this first game. It's actually they're gonna be the reverse 3-stock, right?
Yeah, it would be exactly. Okay, side sig. Tiger falls out of the side air. That could have been potentially the end of the game, but that surely will be. The recovery comes in, and Keith takes the game. Looks really, really solid, but we saw some fire from Tiger, so definitely not over yet. I definitely have some hopes for Tiger for sure.
Yeah, but 630 damage coming in from Keith here. That is some 2s numbers right now. Just doing numbers on Tiger in general, like perfectly dodging, doing more damage. We do have a legend swap from Tiger. He is on the Asuri now, on the Ahsoka. I think probably one of my favorite Jedis, but I don't know. Let's see if Ahsoka Tano is going to be enough here to take out the Greatsword. The short-range guitars, I'm really unsure about this matchup.
3, 2.
Yeah, I think there's. I think you're definitely right about that. I think the bow obviously is like what Tiger's like signature weapon is, but I mean, sword being so strong, and a lot of players kind of have the idea that Ahsoka is potentially the best legend in the entire game. Always a legend that's historically very winning, but right now saying I don't really care about the meta. It's time for the Jaya, and it's time for Keith in Southeast Asia, who takes the stock there very confidently with that edge guard. And your lower defense, I believe, on Ahsoka, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so already
you are 4 or 5 defense, depending on what stats you choose. Yeah, that being said, though, like, I don't really know what the answer to Greatsword is right now. Like, I haven't been able to say for a while. People have said it's bow. People have said it's orb. But I remember when wow. Keith with the perfect edge guards coming in, the ground pound, just no way for Tiger to get back. And once again, Keith is poised to take the 3-stock against Tiger.
I mean, complete this dismantling of this game number 2. Punishes the guitar down air whiff, and Tiger is just swinging for something to connect. Just really anything at this point. The side air hits there, but Keith just jumps away from that end sig attempt, and all things considered, it's looking really, really bad for Tiger here. Punishes the side sig with the end side light there, but a nice little open up there, gets the recovery to find the KO, even on most Icely spaceport. I don't know if the map changes came in where the blast zone is now similar to, I believe it's similar to Apocalypse, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, I mean, finding the KO there is very important for Tiger to potentially make this comeback a possibility, but the recovery gets beat out by the side air. The ground pound comes in, makes it back to the wall, but Keith continuing the pressure with that side air. Feints going off stage, doesn't need to, though, as you are up 2-1 very confidently.
Wow, I mean, yeah, this oppression from like Keith's sword right now is insane. Like, you can't punish this guy. Like, even if he messes up his offstage punish, he still has an answer. He just is able to recover you. And there we go. He takes the second game with that Jaehyun. You know, Tiger again. Even the legend swap is not enough to answer back. In fact, it's a little bit worse. Only 255 damage. That is, yep.
Dire straits for sure, but Tiger saying, you know what? In times of trouble, who do you call to in competitive Brawlhalla? None other than Teros. We got the hammer, we got the axe, and we got Tiger on the deck stance. Teros trying to make it happen. I'm all for it. I think Teros is a legend that, although is not as strong as, you know, last year, still a very strong legend. And we'll see the attempt here from Tiger. Man,
I mean, yeah.
Hail Mary of all Hail Marys, but hey, maybe can make it work.
See, back like a year ago, this character would have been considered like a win button, and it definitely still is, but I don't know if this is enough to deal with the Jaehyun here, because I don't know. Let's just see. Is this still a win button? And Axe and Hammer just aren't as good as they used to be, and it almost feels like Jaehyun has kind of been that character that people will just lock in now. And, you know, are going to be like, well, I don't know how to play him that well, but I know that he's going to give me results.
The most ridiculous recovery I might have ever seen from somebody.
What
Keith
is
just
doing?
toying with Tiger with the siders off the wall. Okay, first of all of that started off of Keith's recovery after baiting like 4 different options. Tiger having to drift low, getting hit with the recovery. Keith is playing like on a different level of play. This is, I'm going to call it, this is the tournament for Keith. Tiger can get nothing started versus this force that is this Jaehyun.
I mean, who is left to stand against Keith if not Tiger?
Ooh.
And if not on Teros? Like, it's just, ooh, okay. Not able to get the KO there with the side sig. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Tiger is just throwing moves out, hoping they hit, and some of them are. I mean, this is damage being racked up. This is the second stock, has some opportunity to take some risks. Side sig is gonna get the KO there. That is how you KO with Teros. Get the hammer, get that side sig, and just rip it.
Okay, nice little side light there. Another double side light from Keith.
Are we getting unarmed now? We're getting unarmed.
Shades of Game 3 in winners finals, and Keith gets the breakdance there. There's always time to dance when you're about to win Southeast Asia Showdown, I should say. Nice end light there from Tiger, going for the side sig as well. Don't want to count him out quite yet, but Keith is looking impossible to beat right now.
Yeah, this is just pure annihilation on the side of the Jaehyun and the side of Keith right now. They're poised to take this game. I mean, Tiger's still just looking like a fish out of water, looking like a bird without wings. Oh, okay, not a... And somehow that doesn't KO. That would have been a beautiful way to end the tournament.
The signatures come out from Keith now. The weapon toss as well. Goes for the alley-oop into the breakdance. Doesn't even go for the full combo. Wants to get something unarmed, and Tiger, I mean, getting toyed with at this point. Dashing forward, Keith just avoiding. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it looks like Keith is just too confident to take this tournament. On the unarmed, Tiger looking to get an open up here with the hammer. Definitely can never count out the game.
Sidelight. He's trying to KO with the sidelight, I think so.
But the downlight into recovery will take it, and KeithThePooPoo is your Southeast Asia Showdown Mark 11 champion, winning spring 2v2s, and now taking that momentum into Southeast Asia Showdown. Once again saying, I am the king of this tournament series. A great showing from Keith. Really solid winners finals and grand finals 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, excellent showing from Keith right now. Like, I don't know. This is a Keith that I remember. That, like, it's good to see that he basically hasn't broken form this entire time, because I know that he did have exams. He did have to take some time off the game, but he is back. He is back, and he's stronger than ever. You know, completely unfazed, and actually probably put in the work after, you know, not being able to take it, that winners tournament. And we're seeing it all today. Like, Keith is just that guy. He's just that person, that fella that's always going to win this tournament series. And, you know, I think it's the year of the poo-poo. Like, personally, like, I believe it's the year of the poo-poo.
That's for sure. It's the year of something, if I'm not mistaken. But Shout outs to Tiger with a great run, getting second place there. Keith doing very, very well. I mean, obviously winning the tournament, and as well as tax evasion. So we got a little bit of a triangle here where Tiger is able to beat tax evasion. Tax evasion is beating Keith. Keith beats Tiger. So I'm excited to see how this kind of leads up as we go into our next officials. I know we got the first Royale happening at Max Mode in Atlanta, but after that, we got some more officials coming in. I believe it is spring championships, as well as a bunch of community events as well. Shout outs real quick to NSIG, specifically Sandwick, who's on production, TOing, making sure that there's casters, making sure the stream's running. And yeah, all things considered, I think a pretty fun tournament to commentate. What do you think?
I mean, I always love casting C, and in some ways, this region never changes, but in many ways, all the players get better. And I'm interested to see how hard they grind this year, because it's a new year. You never know what BMG has in store for C. That being said, even if they don't, I hope to see some players from C grinding it out the whole year and then making it to BCX. That would be absolutely insane. You know, normally it's only me or my brother, since we're now in North America, so we're probably the only people that can attend. But I would like to see some current pros in C attend BCX, and I want to see that happen. And I think if they grind all year, there's a very good case, because the gap is closing between the regions, and it has been for a while. And I think C's been good enough for a while, and I want to see players like KeithThePooPoo at BCX. So that's what I'm looking forward to this year, and that's what I'm looking forward to for every single tournament after this.
Yeah, absolutely. And all things being said, that's going to be another tournament win for KeithThePooPoo here at SCA Showdown Mark 11. Once again, shout outs to NSIG for having us on. I've been PJ the Puff. That's been Skiff. I think that does it for us, though. So thank you all so much for tuning in. That concludes the tournament. Once again, congratulations to Keith for taking the tournament. And we will see you all next time with Southeast Asia Showdown Mark 11. Whenever that is, stay tuned. Start.gg/Brawlhalla to find some events. We'll see you next time.